Hello, today we're going to talk about the challenge of motivating a multicultural diverse classroom. Also, we're going to give you 5 steps that you have to follow to contrast this problem. Let me introduce the topic. For some teachers, it's difficult to motivate a multicultural classroom. Also, it's a challenge for the education. However, you have to take into account that with the right approach, with the right method, we can do everything. We can inspire the learning, engage individuals from various backgrounds. Let's continue with 5 steps that you have to follow.
Okay, the first one is adjust curriculum and content to give a background of culture. That means that motivating a culturally diverse group of students through adjusting curriculum and content to include cultural background is a crucial aspect of creating an inclusive and effective educational environment. Here, we have a lot of relevant aspects. The first one is ensure that the curriculum, the content are culturally relevant and relatable to all the students. The second one includes diverse voice in textbooks, reading, material, multimedia resources. Cultural sensitivity is that train educators to be culturally sensitive and aware. Teachers should be able to facilitate discussion about culture and identity respectful. Personalization. Personalization allows students some autonomy in choosing topics or projects related to their own cultural background. Collaborative learning is one of the most important because encourage experience that bring together a student from various cultural background, and also a student can learn from each other perspective. And the last one is celebration of cultural events. That means that in education we need to recognize and celebrate that kind of events. This not only provides an opportunity for cultural education, that also promote a sense of belonging for students from those cultures.
The second one is offer students opportunities to make choices and decisions based on their interests. The most valued lessons are often learned through students' own experiences. So giving them the opportunity to make choices and decisions encourages greater connections and interactions within the classroom. Therefore, the teacher's role is to act as a facilitator, allowing students to select a didactic way of assessment. For example, in Germany or in Australia, educational institutions give you the opportunity to do projects or research papers instead of a writing test, and to present their own materials related to the lesson so that they can approach the topic from their own perspective. At the same time, it is advisable to maintain continuous communication with the students to enable constant improvement of the accessibility of the classroom for all. Therefore, schedule individual or group meetings to give them openness to express their ideas, discomforts, and conflicts.
So now the third is building meaningful complex tasks where students feel involved, collaboration, and self-reflection that help the students to develop the skills they need to success, such as using team building, exercise, or introducing the self-reflection techniques that they can use. And they consider using writing contracts and incorporate the self-assessment and peer assessment for group members to evaluate their own others' contribution, and have a student reflect on both the learning process and choose a variety of work, including their best work and their favorite.
Step number 4, activating the students' peer knowledge and empowering their interest to participate in a new language. I have 4 different facts. 1, use nonverbal like body gesture, visuals, drawings, pointing, and models to teach meaning of new vocabulary to the students. Also, we need to create experience that help the students notice features of the language. Another important fact is encourage, always encourage. As a teacher, we don't force the speech of our students. And finally, we have students from different cultures because it's a multicultural classroom. And for this, we need diversity of activities that offer all learning styles. For example, a holiday or some important date, a student should learn about it. And what is the best way to learn? Through an activity.
The last one, we have integrated different subject areas addressing many instructional goals. First one, we have to help the students feel involved and can create a great impact on student learning. At the same time, allow to understand the real world necessities. Here also belong to know more about other kind of cultures, language, and customs. Here we need to take into account the different ways the students learning. And last one, even this can strain the relationship among students and create a positive environment. The key word for this is creativity, adaptability, and critical thinking.
And finally, we have the conclusion. To conclude, we have to say it's a bit difficult to motivate a student to be culturally diverse in the classroom. Okay, but we have to look at the different approach with which we can encourage their participation. But we move to not forget the 5 steps we discussed on the top. We will start by saying we have to create inclusive and effective learning environment. There is a relevant culture called collaborative learning. So we also to create a way in which they chose decide through their learning interests and give them the meaningful learning with some complexity and which they can reflect possibility and the cooperability. Thank you.